Whether you're in a small village, a big city, or somewhere in between, chances are you'll often see lots you want to sketch. It can get pretty overwhelming, right? You'll see so many things. How do you decide? So in this lesson, I'll tell you my approach for figuring out and choosing what to draw. I call it read it, frame it, draw it. I'll show you how to capture vignettes to get the essence of a scene very quickly. So in this location, I'm at kind of an industrial park. There's a lot of different stuff going on around me, and I'll take a look around and see what I'm going to choose to sketch. All right, so in this direction here, I see some mountains in the distance, which are pretty nice. Nice big shapes, some highway going past it, some industrial stuff going on there. That could be a great sketch. As you can see behind me, there's a cafe. Some nice angular shapes to the buildings, which are also nice. Some nice grid marks, some trees that frame this building. That could also make a really nice drawing. And then over here, we have a nice breezeway with some colorful shapes, some geometrics, some bicycles. We've got sidewalk over there, some horizontal lines receding into the distance, some perspective. So I have lots of choices here. So how do I decide? So what I'm going to go for is something with the simple shapes, and I think that's going to be the mountains that we saw before. So I'm going to turn and look at that again. Really nice simple shapes here. So this is what I'm doing, reading the scene, right? Looking around and finding sort of the best thing that I can sketch given the amount of time that I have today. So next I'll talk a little bit about framing the scene. So what I often use when I want to frame the scene is I'll either kind of do a quick grid or thumbnail, which is a small sketch, or what's really easy is I'll use my camera phone to take a quick shot of the scene. So here I'll just kind of frame up my scene and take a little shot of what I see there. All right, so then I'll take a look and say, probably makes a good sketch. It's a nice shape, and I'll kind of use that to guide me as I go through and draw it. So now let's get to drawing. Take out my sketchbook, and I'll think about what I had seen in my camera phone photo. And again, I'm gonna focus here on the big shapes. We've got some mountains, and we've got some really nice verticals in the lampposts and the industrial section in front of it, and also the highway. So I'm gonna do the sketch of the mountains, going for those simple shapes and really trying to capture it very quickly. So I'll start by putting in that line of the mountains. Does not have to be perfect. I'm just trying to get kind of the essence of the mountain shapes there. And again, this is something that I do very, very quickly. You know, I might be waiting for someone at the barber shop, or I might even check my day planner, my calendar, to see if there's any breaks that I have in the day where I can just get in a quick sketch. So I use this technique to kind of just really quickly look at the scene, figure out what I want to sketch, and then go ahead and put those marks down. I see some verticals here, so I'm going to put them in really quickly. These lamp posts are very interesting, kind of breaking up the line of the mountains. There's one really, really tall lamp post here, so I'm going to really kind of go nice and high up there to kind of break that line that kind of goes right into the clouds, which is really nice. A couple more quick renderings of those lamp posts. I see sort of a highway shape that's nice, really going for a gestural sweeping line here. So I'm not going to be fussy with this highway. I see that it's a curve, so I'm just going to go right in and put that in. So nice. I'm going to put some of those, the struts that the highway is kind of sitting on right underneath. And then I see a couple of these building shapes right above that highway. So the highway has a little bit of a kind of a parallel line there, maybe where the guardrail is. So I'm going to put in some of these building shapes that are right here under the mountain line. I see some really faint telephone poles or light poles. I'm going to put those in. They don't go quite up to the mountain line, so I'm going to continue to put some of those in. And what I really like, and I don't want to leave out here, is there's a really interesting grid pole. I'm not sure exactly what it is, but it makes a really nice vertical shape on the right, so I want to make sure to put that in. So I'm going to start by just putting in my vertical, and it's a little bit lower than this big light pole that I put in, so quickly draw that in and draw a parallel there and just put in those grid marks. Looks like some scaffolding or a little bit of maybe some electrical pole, but I just like the way that it gives me a nice sort of framing element on the right-hand side. Okay, so that's in there. And I'm just going to put a little bit more emphasis here on this highway line. So I can just kind of, again, sort of sweep mark a little bit more here. And I don't want to do too much. I like these trees that are kind of coming up into this space. So very, very loosely, I'm going to get in some of those tree shapes here, just to indicate that there's some trees kind of going right above. And you'll see that I just restate and go right over the lines that I've made. It doesn't matter that I didn't leave room for them. I'm just going for something very gestural. There's sort of a big tree shape sort of right here in the front, so I'm gonna put that in as well. Again, just to give it some interest, to give it some framing. And I'm just going in with line now. You know, I don't have to color this, so I'm really going for something quick that gets the essence of the scene. I think this is nice because I'm in Denver, so it's nice that sort of the mountains are here in my sketch. It gives a little bit of a place element to the sketch, and I really don't have to even do too much more here. So I can just finish up by doing a little more darks, a little more kind of framing stuff here, and really could stop right there. I could put a boundary around it, a line around it if I wanted to, but that's really it. And I haven't spent a lot of time, and I can go right back to my day. So this is what I would sketch if I had just 5 minutes. But if I had a little more time, say if my friend were a little bit late, I might add in a little bit more. So let's say I might add in some shadows. I would take my maybe thicker marker and kind of go back into where I was sketching right on top and put in some of the tree shadows here, getting a little bit more detail. I might even darken some of the poles that I had put in with the fine liner, just to make sure that they're standing out. And I see that even this structure here is a little bit dark as I look at the scene, so I might darken that one as well. So just putting in a little bit more can really just add a little bit to the sketch. Don't even have to add color here, just adding a little more of the shading here, wherever you think it might add some life to the sketch. So you'll see that that actually creates a little contrast between what you have here and some of these darker shapes coming down off of this highway. So what I want you to do is to pick any scene at all and take the approach of read it, frame it, and draw it. So take some time to read the scene, look at it, see what you might want to sketch, what might be easy for you to sketch given the time that you have, frame it, maybe take a picture with your camera phone if it helps, and then draw it. Don't take a whole lot of time, just a couple minutes, and see what you can sketch. If you're like me, you're always on the move, maybe in a train or a car. So in the next lesson, I'm going to show you how to use that time for sketching.